Have you ever felt that your content is invisible? Like, no matter how much you're posting, nobody is paying attention, or worse yet, they're noticing what you're doing, but they're just not taking any action. Here's the truth. In 2025, your content must be intentional because otherwise you're just wasting your time. Posting without a strategy is going to cost you opportunities. It's going to cost you time in building your brand. And in 2025, the way to build a brand is with content. Content is no longer optional. The fastest way to building your personal brand is to have a solid content strategy. Did you know that 82% of people say that they trust personal brands over company brands? And that is good news for you if you are on the journey of building your personal brand, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a leader, whether you are just somebody who wants to be known for something, especially if you are also trying to position yourself for whatever your next big leap is. If it's a new job, if it's a new career, if it is just elevating your visibility for your business. So, it is so important that you build your brand and your content with intention. And it has to be the right mix of content that helps to build trust, build authority, and connection all at the same time. And the framework that I'm going to share with you today will help you to do just that. And this is not theory. This is a framework that I have used for myself and have seen the results from it. It has helped me to not feel invisible. It has helped me to get high ticket clients, get booked for speaking gigs, paid speaking gigs. And it's done the same thing for my clients. And the more that I use it, I even just this week, I've had people reach out to me in my inbox because of content that I posted. So how great would it be to have content that is generating leads for you? Because every person that reaches out to me, that's a new lead. That's somebody that's telling me I'm interested in what you're talking about and I want to hear more. And that's why I'm excited to share with you my 5 C's of value content. This is the framework that I use, that my clients use to make sure that at all times we have a great mix of content that connects, that builds authority, and builds trust. For those of you who are new around here, I'm Nikki Bradley, and I help entrepreneurs and leaders to build trusted and more visible brands. My clients have used the strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you today to get high ticket clients, to get booked on coveted stages, and to be seen as the expert in their field, the go-to expert in their field. So I am excited to share the 5 C's of value content with you today. And I've been asked so many times, like, Nikki, do you have a video out there that breaks this all down? And I haven't until now. So I'm excited to create this for you today. Most people that I see still trying to figure out their content strategy have kind of a spaghetti approach. They're just throwing like funny memes and quotes or educational tips, or they're just constantly selling. And so they're throwing all these things against the wall and hoping that their audience bites. And that is not a strategy. And the thing is, you have to have that mix of all three: the connection, the trust, and the authority. And if any one of those is missing, you're not going to get the results you want. So if you have connection and authority, then you don't have trust. And so basically, people like you, they might even respect you, but they're not going to buy from you. They're not going to hire you. They're not going to follow you. If you have authority and trust, then you don't have connection. And so they might say, this person's really knowledgeable, they know what they're talking about, but there's no emotional connection, there's no emotional investment in you. And they're not going to go out and tell other people about you because they're not excited about what you're doing. And then if you have connection and no trust, then you're relatable. People like you, but they don't trust you enough to give you their money. So you have to have all three. And if you lean too heavily on one or even two of them without all three, then you're going to fall short. So that is why the 5 C's of value content work so well, because when you implement all five, then you're going to cover all three of those and you're not going to be leaning on just a couple. You're going to make sure that if someone comes to your page, then they're going to get that right mix that's going to help them to build that trust, feel like they're emotionally invested in you, and actually trust you enough to want to buy from you and invest in your expertise. So before we jump in here, um, I know that if you are here, I know two things about you. One, you are interested in building your personal brand. And two, you are committed to learning and taking action. Because let's face it, that's why we're on YouTube hours of the day. Or is that just me? I don't know. But I want to encourage you, if that is who you are, if you love learning about building your brand and content and just showing up in a way that is powerful, but that feels authentic to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my content. Now, if you are someone who is ready to dig deeper into this and go further, I want to encourage you um, to grab my masterclass replay. I just did a masterclass that is the 6 biggest mistakes keeping you invisible and how to fix them. And I created the class because I was seeing that a lot of entrepreneurs and leaders were um, putting in a lot of effort. They were doing a lot of things, but they were trying to figure out, like, why is this not working? And so I break down in that masterclass the 6 biggest things that I'm seeing that are keeping people stuck and not getting seen and not getting their audience to take action, and then what to do to fix them. So I actually talk about the 5 C's of value content in that masterclass, but today I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into those because what I heard from the people who came to the masterclass is that um, this is stuff that, even if they've been in business for a while or if they're an experienced marketer, it helped them to reshape how they're thinking about their content. So if you are interested in that, go ahead and grab the replay below in the description or the show notes. So, all right, let's jump back into this. Okay, so let's get into the 5 C's. And C number 1 is connection content. Connection content is all about showing your humanity, showing that you are a real person. It's where you are sharing your likes, your dislikes, what you're interested in, and really just connecting with people as a human, showing that you are a real person behind the business or the brand. And what I love about connection content is there's so many ways that you can just use your life as your content. So you can talk about like just something that you're into right now. Like I've shared um, Netflix series that I'm binging right now and what I thought about it. And then it starts all kinds of conversation because it's something that people can connect to and they can relate to, where they're commenting under my post about, oh yeah, I'm watching that too. And here's what I thought about it. Or no, I can't stand that. Or why are you watching that? But it's a way for people to get to see who I am outside of just the work stuff. I've shared content where I did a post a while back where I was really starting to get into teas, and I am a coffee drinker. And so I think I started the post with something like coffee or tea. I'm new to the tea world. Who's got some recommendations on some that I should try? And my comments just blew up with people sharing types of teas that they love. A lot of them I have tried. I actually just cleaned out my pantry and I realized that I had accumulated so many teas that were recommendations from my audience. That they shared with me. So it's just a great opportunity for people to get to see who you are outside of just the serious stuff. A lot of people use memes for this. So memes are not a bad thing. I actually love memes as a way to just show like what your sense of humor is like. Wendy's is a brand that does a really great job of bringing humor into their content with connection content. They have created a whole cult following on Twitter or X, where they are just sharing funny posts where they're roasting their competitors. They're laughing at themselves. It's a fun place to hang out. And so it's a strategy for them that has really worked to solidify loyalty within their audience. Nike does a really good job of this too. They use everyday people and athletes in their ads to be more relatable and to help you to connect and see yourself in their brand. And so those are a couple of company brands, but I wanted, with each of these, I'm going to share with you a personal brand as well, because I think it's important for you to see that this stuff works for the same stuff that works for these big brands, big companies, can also work for the individual. And I'm going to use some brands that you probably, some personal brands that you know, and others that you may not have heard of. So for connection content, I really love Gabrielle Union. I think that she does a really good job. You know, she's an actress, but she does a really good job of just sharing her personal life. And this is a just a pro tip for you. You don't have to share everything about yourself. You get to decide how much of your personal life you want to share with the world. If you only want to share that you're into tea right now versus coffee, but you don't want to show your kids, that is perfectly fine. Or you can be like Gabrielle, where she talks a lot about the challenges of getting older. She has shared her struggles with being sexually assaulted. She has shared the challenges that she and her husband are have had with their daughter Kavia, who is struggling with some or is going through um, some situations as far as her identity. And so that it's completely up to you how much of that you want to share. But the thing is, we feel like we know Gabrielle Union, right? Because she shares so much of herself. And so then when it comes time for her to promote her books, her movies. Um, she did a documentary about her birthday, or even her fashion line that she has a partnership with New York and Company. People want to be like her. They wanted to get to know her better, and so they buy. And she doesn't have to do a hard ask for it. Another personal brand that I really love that does great connection content is Chalene Johnson. So Chalene, I first encountered Chalene because this back in what was it, like the early 2000s, she had a lot of fitness videos with Beachbody, and I had some of them. Um, so that was when I first encountered Chalene. But over the years, as I started my business, I started seeing her talk more about marketing and social media and building a brand. And she still talked about fitness, but over the years, she also started sharing more about her personal life. So she shared what it has been like to age gracefully and with power and spunk. And so she has talked about menopause and brought in health experts that and sharing what she has learned along the way. She shares stuff about her family. She has shared her regrets about plastic surgery. So these are things that, you know, not everybody feels comfortable sharing. But here's the thing that I have learned, that when I share those things that make me a little bit more vulnerable, I'm actually empowering other people to do the same. I have had so many instances where I've shared something personal online, and the response from people is like, thank you, I needed to hear that, or I'm going through that too. Connection content is really about I'm just like you, and it allows people to have a me too moment too, not like the Weinstein me too, but the like I get you, we see each other kind of moment. Moving on with the 5 C's. Number 2 is character content. So this is all about sharing your beliefs, your values, how you think about things, like just who you are at your core, and sharing your why. Um, Character content can also be used. Sometimes people are a little bit leery about sharing their beliefs and their values, but it doesn't have to be just your personal values. It can be your beliefs about your industry or how things work. And so a lot of times, this is a great opportunity for you to share your unpopular or unique or uncommon thoughts, your knowledge, your thought leadership on something that's going on in your space or in your field. And that is a great way to differentiate yourself. Patagonia did this when they had a Don't Buy This Jacket campaign. So they were really reinforcing their belief that You don't need to make unnecessary purchases, and they have a strong belief around reducing waste. And so that's kind of an unpopular or an uncommon opinion in the retail and the apparel space because it's all about consumption. I don't know if you guys have seen this documentary that's out on Netflix right now called Buy Now, and it's kind of about this concept. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. I may even do something about it because there was just so much in there that I think um, is counter to how, especially, in my space with teaching people how to sell and marketing and brand themselves. There are some interesting conversations that I think can be had there. But anyway, so Patagonia did this campaign, Don't Buy This Jacket. And it also in reference to some of the trends that you're seeing right now in fashion and apparel. The no buy, people are doing like no buy Januaries and um, conscious consumerism. So it's showing that this is what they believe about how people should make purchases, which may be counter to them, you would think, to them making more money, but it actually allows people to resonate and who align with those types of beliefs to see them as somebody that when they do spend their money, this is who they want to spend it with. Another example is Dove. You've probably seen the Dove Real Beauty campaign that was really successful over the years, where they're showing different body types, different ethnicities, different um, just different women of shapes and sizes and showing that they are beautiful as well. So you probably saw them in like their underwear in these ads. And it did really well because it was counter to the whole beauty industry, which historically only showed celebrity women who were a certain size and sometimes even a certain race. And so this was a great way for them to share their belief that real beauty lies in all of us. And a lot of women connected with that because they could see themselves in the brand. Um, when I think about some personal brands that have made the decision to share their beliefs and their values as part of their business or part of their brand and have had success with it, um, I love Myron Golden for this. He actually teaches business principles from a Bible perspective. And Omar El Takori talks about he shares making videos like how to do that, but he's not afraid to you'll if you watch some of his videos, he will talk about the fact that he is a former pastor or he may say Jesus in his videos, and that's something that I embrace as well because I am a woman of faith, and it comes up sometimes when I'm just sharing what I know because that's part of the foundation of who I am. And it's okay to do that. And I do that knowing that it's going to repel some people and it's going to attract others. And that's okay too, because I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and neither are you. And you don't want to be because then it's going to dilute your brand. Value content type number 3. This is credibility content. This is where you show instead of telling people that you are the expert. And it's your opportunity to show your receipts. And this can be a little bit scary for people because a lot of us, and I find this a lot with women, we are taught to be humble and not talk about ourselves and don't brag. And this is not about bragging. This is about showing proof that you are good for what you said that you can do. And there are lots of ways that you can do this. You can share testimonials, you can share case studies of clients that you've worked with, you can share media features that you've had. So if you've been on a podcast, if you have been featured on TV and in print, any of those things you can share. And it's about sharing real results. It's sharing your results, it's sharing your clients' results, people that you've helped results. So even if it's somebody that didn't pay you, it's still a result that you helped somebody to get. And you want to talk about those things and share them. And it doesn't have to be you as the one who's sharing it. You can just you can use user generated content where they are talking about what their experience was with you. You can also share the behind the scenes of how you got the result, either for yourself or for somebody else. So you can share, a clip from a coaching call. I've done this before where I'm showing like me helping a client work through something. And I don't have to tell people that this is what I do and that I get results. They can just see that this is the process that I go through to help them to get the result. Um, so a couple of brands that come to mind when I think about this, Peloton. So full transparency, I own a Peloton. It was a Christmas present. I really wanted one. I was telling my husband that I wanted one for months. And he was like, this is going to be just something that collects dust in our in our workout room. But he got it for me for Christmas. And as we speak right now, I just heard him. He just finished his Peloton workout. Asked me when the last time was I've gotten on that. Um, I'm one of those people that when I got it, I realized like I don't like how this feels sitting on the seat riding the bike. I like doing the workouts where you don't have to ride the bike and you can watch the videos. Those are cool. But yeah, so that's my Peloton story. But Peloton does a great job of highlighting their community's results. They share things like number of rides completed and how long people have been on Peloton. They share their weight loss results. And people in the community get really excited about it because you don't know if you're going to be featured with your results or not. So that is a really cool way to share your receipts. And it's not braggy, it's just showing like these are the results that people get. This is why people have Pelotons and why they stick with it for so long. So Peloton does a really good job of that. And while we're talking about it, there's going to be a lot of crossover between some of these types of content. And Peloton also does a really good job with connection content because they are always posting clips of their instructors so that you can feel connected with them. A lot of them are funny. So you think about Cody is one of their most known instructors. He built a whole following himself just because he is funny in his classes. And so they would share clips of that. And to the point where he built his brand, where he was even invited to be on Dancing with the Stars. Like most fitness instructors don't even have that in their realm of possibility, but building your personal brand opens up so many opportunities that you didn't even think were in your realm. When I think about personal brands, there is a lady that I follow, Kizzy Parks, and she teaches government contracting strategies. And what I love about her content is she does some videos where she's just sharing, educational content, but the majority of her videos that she posts on YouTube are credibility content where she is doing client case studies and letting her clients talk about how they've used the strategies that she teaches and the results that they've gotten, all of these big government contracts that they've won. And so she doesn't have to toot her own horn. They're tooting it for her just by sharing their own results. So that's something that you want to think about when you're thinking about your how to build credibility for yourself. This is a great way to build trust, and it answers the question that your audience has, which is, can I trust this person to do what it is they're saying they can do and to help me with my problem? We are now on number 4, which is competence content. This is where you're actually sharing your expertise. This is where you are teaching, you're inspiring, you're helping people to get quick wins. And you can do that with tutorials, with tips, with educational content. This is a piece of competence content right now where I'm teaching about these 5 C's. And a couple of brands that I always think about, like I love HubSpot. If you are in business, it's a really good resource for marketing information. So they're always producing reports and studies. And they also do a really good job with credibility content because they also have a lot of case studies and client success stories. Canva is another really good one for competence content. Canva is an online resource. It is free. There is a paid version, which if you are creating content, the paid version I think is well worth it. It's only like maybe $12 a month, but it allows you to create custom graphics. So, and video. So Canva is a great tool, but they do a really good job of providing educational resources, design inspiration and templates and tips and tutorials for how to best use Canva. There's even things like, how do you figure out which fonts work well together? And it's all resources that help you to be a better designer, even if you don't have design experience. When I think about personal brands that do a great job of competence content, Ali Abdal is a YouTuber who has 6 million followers, and he's gained those followers by providing productivity and personal development tutorials. Um, and I'm going to use a couple of YouTubers as examples here because YouTube is a great way for you to share your expertise. Because people come on YouTube, number one, it is the second largest search engine just behind Google. When people are looking for the answers to questions, um, which you probably have the answer to a lot of them in your space, this is a great place to share that because it makes it easier for them to find you. Um, and it is a great place for you to share tutorials and let people experience your expertise before they hire you. Marcus Brownlee is another YouTuber. He has 20 million followers, and he is known for doing tech reviews and tutorials. He did a review of the Tesla solar roof that got 13 million views as of right now, as of the recording this video. And so he's just talking about products in his space, tech tools that, and he's giving his opinion about them. So as I'm going through these, think about how can I apply this to my own business? What are some things that maybe I could provide tutorials or reviews about to share my expertise or my knowledge about this area? I love fashion and style, and one of the people that I follow is Tashira Halyard of Politics and Fashion. Now, I'm using this example because I've talked about people who have, millions of followers. She has under 100,000 followers, but she does tutorials that help people to build their capsule wardrobe. And what I love about her is that she mixes a lot of these different types of 5Cs. She does connection content inside of her tutorials. She shares her beliefs and her values. She talks about the intersection of fashion and social justice. So she's able to incorporate these different types, sometimes even in one single video. And that is something that you can do as well. These don't have to be separate pieces of content. The 5Cs, you can incorporate multiple types in one piece of content. And the more you practice doing these, the better, the easier it's going to be for you to do that and to seamlessly weave between all of them so that, again, no matter when somebody is coming onto your page, they're going to see a good mix of all of these types that are going to help them to build that connection, authority, and trust. No, we've got one left to go. But before we dig into that one and I share what the fifth type of value content is, I want to encourage you, if this is resonating with you, if you're like, yes, this is what I need to be doing more of, grab that replay of the masterclass with the 6 biggest mistakes that are keeping you invisible and how to fix them so that you can see what are some other gaps that you might be having with how you're showing up both online and off that you need to adjust so that you can build that connection, authority, and trust that we've been talking about. And the link to that is in the description or the show notes. All right, so let's get into number five. Number five, which is conversion content. So this is another one that is scary for people because either you are doing like a lot of content where you're constantly selling something, or I find people do none of this or very little of it. And we've been taught that you have to give value, give value, give value before you can actually make an ask. That is I don't subscribe to that. I think that's kind of like, the 10 years ago model for content marketing. But if you are doing this mix of content, you can ask. Um, Even in this video, I've been sharing education with you, I've been sharing tips, but I'm also asking you, I'm giving you an invitation to the next step if that's something that you like to do. And I believe that you can interweave those things when, if you're just making a simple invitation to somebody. It's just like if you're having a party, you send out an invitation and some people are going to say yes and some are going to say no. And it's no big deal if they say no. If they want to party, they're going to party. If they don't, then they're not. So don't be afraid to ask or invite people to the next step with you. And if you're doing a good mix of these types of content, people are going to want to know what is the next thing like, how do I hire you? How do I um what is the next step? Like, I want to go deeper. And if you're not giving them an opportunity, you are missing the boat and you're doing them a disservice as well. So conversion content is really just about making the ask for whatever the logical next step is with you. If that is to book a call with you, if that is to download your lead magnet, if that is to take your quiz, um, if that is to attend your next training or challenge, or enroll in your program, let them know how to do it. So let's talk about a couple of brands that do this very well. Apple. So whether you are an iOS or an Android person, you got to give it to Apple. They know how to get sales going whenever they have a new launch. And there's always a new launch because I am an Apple user and I love Apple. However, it does drive me crazy that going in that your phone or your iPad is, in a few years, it's going to be extinct or it's going to not work as well. And they're going to drive you to get the next version, right? The app, I don't know, the iPhone 20 or whatever we're on now. We know that. But they have, ever since Steve Jobs, they have made it like a party every time they have a new release of a product. So they do a big announcement on a stage where they're telling you about all the features and the benefits of this new sexy thing that they've got coming. And then they make a big deal of it at the stores. There's people lining up around the block to get this thing. And they've got employees out there that are like really excited about it, that are doing videos of them getting ready for launch day. So they do a really good job of letting you know this is how you can buy the thing. This is when you can get it. This is where you can get it. Here's why you want to get it. Here's who it's for. Even going back to their first ad, Apple's first big ad, that this is for the dreamers and don't have me saying this wrong. But they're letting you know like who their products are for. Apple does a great job of selling you stuff. um, Another company that does a really good job of it, and I love using this example because for those of you who feel like, I don't want to be pushy, I can only ask someone to buy my thing one time or a couple of times, and then I'm being too pushy. How many of you get Target emails? How many of you buy from Target on a regular basis? They are always sending me notifications. They're always sending me emails. I follow them on social media, so there's always something coming up on my feed about them, about their new launch of a line or a partnership or a collaboration, or come in and get this discount that we have right now, this deal that we've got going on, Target Circle deals. They're always promoting, this is how you buy, this is what can or should buy, or whatever, however you want to say it. But they're not afraid to do it, and sometimes multiple times in the same day. So if you are afraid to make an ask, look at your Target um, emails in your inbox and then tell me if you're promoting too much. All right. When I think about personal brands, so I'm a curly girl. I love hair products, and I'm always experimenting with hair products. Um, Tracy Ellis Ross is like, she doesn't know this, but she's like my sister from another mister. She doesn't know this yet. Tracy, if you're watching, I love you. Like fashion, all the things. And she just shows up just being her own like smart, goofy self, very fashion savvy self, which I love. That's her personal brand. But she talks about her pattern products all the time. You know, she shows herself using the products and then tells you that you can go buy it at Target. um, Same thing with Rihanna. She does the same thing with her Fenty products and her Savage products. She has her personal brand, but she talks about like, here's, this lipstick that I love using. I was wearing it in the Super Bowl. Go get it. And guess what? I got it. It's in my desk drawer, that red. So you can promote, you can ask people to buy the thing, and you're actually not helping them. And I know that if you're watching this, you're somebody who likes to help people. You're not helping them if you don't give them the opportunity to take the next step with you. Have you ever heard someone tell you that you have to give value? That your content should be giving value, but that you have to give value before you can ask someone to buy something. I've heard this for years. And what I have come to realize is that every piece of content that I create, that I put out into the world, should be giving value, even when I'm making an offer. And if I'm putting something out into the world and my intention is not to serve the person on the other end of it, then I'm not giving value. So that's the question that I would ask you to ask yourself every time you get ready to write a post, shoot a video, post that reel, send out an email. Is this going to serve the person on the other end? And if the answer is yes, then you're giving value. And that can be whether you're teaching something, whether you are helping them to bust a limiting belief, if you are helping them to shift their mindset or how they're thinking about a problem, if you're giving them something that, even if it's just a quick tip that's going to give them a quick win, that's going to make their life better that day or in the future, that is giving value. And even when you say, here's how you can buy this thing, here's how you can take the next step, that's providing value too. So I hope this was helpful for you. I would love to know, um, as you've heard these 5 C's, which one do you feel like you need to put the most attention to right now that maybe is missing from your content mix? Let me know in the comments. I love reading them, and I just want to hear from you guys. So that's all I have for you today. Again, if you're ready to stop feeling invisible, if you're trying to figure out, you know, where are the gaps in my content and how I'm showing up that are keeping me stuck or not letting me be seen by the people that I really want to serve, then go ahead and grab that masterclass replay. It's in the comments, it's in the description, and also in the show notes. So that's it for today. I will see you next time.